And then to conclude, we're joined by Ben Jankowski, Head of Global Media at Mastercard, who's coming to us live from Philadelphia. Hello, Ben. And Stefan Koruble is, of course, with us from Luxembourg, and he's coming live too. So, Ben, I'm going to start with you. Stefan Lorca just talked about the global digital acceleration. Do you agree with what you just heard, Ben?
No, absolutely. I think the digital acceleration is going to continue to grow, and it's a combination of a lot of the things that I've heard the previous speakers talk about. It's, there are different degrees of readiness for different marketers, and in fact, different use cases, right? So in our case, Stefan talked about, and Daniel started with why consumers have all their money in their pockets because they're not flying on planes and they're not eating in restaurants, which happen to be our two biggest categories. Thank you very much. But the quick evolution of things like e-commerce, which have replaced, not completely, but replaced to a large degree, things like e-commerce have enabled us to be able to understand what's going on in the marketplace. So our ability to quickly respond to what's going on, and it all starts, and Daniel talked about it, it all starts with consumer behavior. So I think the digital transformation, I think, is going to be an important role. And I also think that we have to juggle the promise and the challenge, right? The promise of us to use digital to help us target better and help us be more contextually relevant and help us measure success better are all really, really amazing things. We also have to juggle it with kind of the risks, the challenges, right? And we know there's a lot out there in terms of fraud and viewability, and there's a lot of challenges out there to go along with the opportunities. So I think getting us ready to be able to juggle those opportunities. Karen talked about the importance of relevance and the importance of measuring the opportunity, and they're all right. It's just a lot. It's a lot being thrown at us in a really short period of time. So we have to be, as marketers, we have to be prepared for it. And I think that most of us are on that path.
Mm-hmm. We also talked a little bit about the role of responsibility and sustainability in brand strategy. What does this mean? It's good to get your feedback on this. What does this mean for Mastercard?
No, I think and Stefan made a great point. I think it's a huge part of what marketers will be doing in the future. And Mastercard, we have a legacy of being around, being socially responsible. One of the biggest things that we've done, we were a charter member of the World Food Program, of the UN World Food Program, which helped us when we had a lot of 5-6 years ago, we had a lot of challenges in people moving around. We were instrumental in being able to put resources in people's hands. So the World Food Program is a really important part of our legacy. We've done other programs in other markets that are important. I think moving into the future, we're going to continue to do that. We've made commitments to make 1 billion people have access to financial services they didn't have before. In third world countries, the gap between opportunity and what's available is huge, and we've committed to a billion people to be to be able to experience financial inclusion. We've also committed $750 million to two important causes. One is how we can help balance the imbalances that currently exist with minority groups, largely in a lot of it's in the United States, but it's in other countries, and also small business. The number of small businesses that have closed down because of the pandemic is shocking, and it's sad. So we've committed $250 million just to help drive small businesses. So social responsibility is hugely important. It's part of, it's a really big part of our culture, and it will continue to be so. And I think that the more brands appreciate and feel that responsibility, I think that we'll be in a better place, and we'll be in a better place as a business and as a world.
Okay. Let's talk about the future, 2021. Do you have any predictions or feelings about how this year is going to sort of roll out for us?
Yeah, lots of feelings, no predictions. It's hard to judge so far. I think that 2021 we are starting to see progress. Jean-Baptiste talked about the change in viewership levels. Now we're starting to balance that a little bit. Media behavior is still it's still a very, very, it still dominates, consumer behavior, right? And that's going to continue to happen. I hope that we can continue to, get a little bit of stability and a little bit of normalcy. We're all kind of counting on that. We're going through, Stefan talked about the second wave. It's happening in Europe. It's happening in North America. So, how long that's going to take, hopefully it'll be shorter because there'll be remedies. You can talk about vaccines, and I'm not, in the medical profession, but we just hope that helps us, slow down that second wave so we can kind of resume normalcy. As somebody who travels who travels globally, my passport wonders what happened. We got into a fight. We don't understand why. I'll probably go a year without leaving my country, which is going to at least be a 25-year record. So I hope we see a little bit of more normalcy, consistency. We can start moving around. As an industry, I'd love to make progress in some of the really important industry topics that we've identified. And Jean-Baptiste talked about cross-media measurement, which is near and dear to me and a lot of marketers. And he talked about, the value of advertisers kind of pulling ourselves together. We talked about, competitors, and we think about it in a slightly different way than we used to think about it. I used to think that my, other financial services brands were my, competition, and directly they are. But when we think about driving success in the marketing world, we all have to figure out, we're going to come up with new partnerships. I don't think many many legacy TV companies have thought about how we're going to partner with digital platforms to help make progress on cross-media measurement. The mere thought of that 2 years ago would have been like, there's no way. But we have to make progress. It's really important for us to be able to understand and take advantage of all the opportunities. So I really, really hope 2021 is the year where we really make some material progress around things like cross-media measurement, things like brand safety, things like data privacy. I mean, we're really working hard as an industry to find common things, and we're not it's real easy to slice ourselves into pieces, and that just creates solutions that won't get to scale. So I'm really hoping that we can make a lot of progress on that front.